So, what if the real failure of an EU-funded project does not happen when the proposal is rejected? What if it actually happens after the project was approved, delivered, reported, and closed? The meetings happened, the deliverables were submitted, the partners did the work, okay, but a few years later, nobody remembers that project. Nobody can see what changed. No institution uses the results. That is the uncomfortable question behind today's episode. Do EU-funded projects leave no trace? My guest is Christine Lester, founder and director of Minster Development Centre in the UK. She has worked for decades across learning, leadership, organizational development, inclusion, and EU cooperation. And in these conversations, she brings a very practical warning. A funded project is not successful just because it was delivered. It is successful only if someone can still use what it created after the funding ends, after the project ends. So before we go into the interview, just one quick note. If you are preparing a Horizon Europe, an Erasmus Plus, EU-funded project, do not wait until the evaluator tells you what was wrong, what is weak. Use the Grand Shield pre-mortem to identify the risks before submission. You'll find the link in the episode notes. Do a pre-mortem, not a post-mortem. That will be too late. Now let's listen to Christine Lester. So, welcome back to InnovEU, the EU Project Chronicles. Today's guest is Christine Lester. She's the founder of and director of Minster Development Centre. She has spent some time, decades actually, working across learning, leadership, organizational development, funding, program delivery. She works very much in the intersection of skills, people, institutions, inclusion, project development, long-term impact, and all these buzzwords that I'm using them because they mean something to most of our audience and to people working in research and EU funds. So my discussion with Christine, which I'm looking forward, will be very much about why do so many good projects fail after the funding ends. So thank you for being here, Christine. And let's start there. You have worked across funding, leadership, learning, program delivery. From your experience, why do so many good projects, and some of them are really good, after the funding ends, they leave no trace?
I've worked with some projects that have been absolutely marvelous. All the partners were dedicated and they all knew what they were going to produce, and they were just thrilled to get started. And the project finished, and we even got a good evaluation percentage. That was good. But my one passion is, did we evaluate as we go along? Because I believe evaluation should be built into the project from the beginning. When you write the application, you say what the evaluation is going to be, not the evaluation necessarily of the outcomes, but the evaluation of the whole project as a whole. So that's my one passion. And then maybe what we could also explore is only this week I've heard of one of our top ministers. He's going to organise a trip for himself to the Netherlands because he wants to see why the UK has got 1 million unemployed young people. Yeah. And I thought straight away, but wait a minute, I did a project 20 years ago, which was exactly that. So why did he need to go to the Netherlands? He could have just asked me. but no, I'm just Christine. I don't have that. I mean, I have been to Number 10 3 or 4 times and said my piece about what is happening over various topics. But that raises the issue to me is why why did the project not connect with what needs to happen in the real world? That was a beautiful project. That was about getting young people and elderly people qualified quicker, getting them into employment quicker. And we've been doing it for 40 years, but it's more or less ignored. And as I say, I did wonder why didn't he ask me? I could have told him that the UK was doing it 40 years ago and that we wrote the competencies. You know, yeah, we went to the Netherlands and we looked at what they were doing and we learned from each other. So yes, that was great. So we've got the basis there for getting those million people, young people, into good jobs, haven't we? But it doesn't happen. So that's my one complaint, if you like. And so the other one is it because we didn't build in the evaluation from day one? Maybe we should have got publicity from day one. Maybe we should have been reporting back to the ministers and saying, this is what we're doing. And hey, it's been funded by Europe. And when Brexit, when I hear all these arguments about the money that the UK put in, allegedly, we got that back. We got that back in what we developed. But our own government doesn't know that. Doesn't know that was what their money paid for, to look at getting those million young people into employment.
No, you can argue that if decision makers don't know about it, it's useless, no matter how good the results are. And in the architecture of EU projects and international projects, we usually talk about deliverables, outputs, activities. But what really would lead the minister to know about your project? What really counts to change the world? Because all of this has that purpose, changing the world.
I think part of it is we're also, which is great. It's business. It's what we're here for, as well as to educate people. We have to make a living. And we have to put in place the research for other people to make a living in whatever business they are carrying on. And for that, I've had some experience of Horizon, and that is a wonderful program that is doing a lot of good work. But is it changing? Is it changing the way we look at the world and what we're achieving? And that's the bit that the connection bit that I think is missing. So yes, there is that, but there is also, as I say, the evaluation from day one, and recognizing that the project is actually trying to do something in the outer world. It's not just about running a project. It's not just about looking at, as you said, outcomes and the evaluation. It's, so what did the project deliver in those terms to the what Europe calls them the beneficiaries, doesn't it? So and we put very grandly in each project, we say, oh, we're going to produce stuff for 50,000 beneficiaries, and Europe says, oh, good. But do we really address those 50,000 beneficiaries in every one of the 27 countries? I'm not sure that we do.
Well, you're raising an issue that I think can be important in this area, because in the end, if you want to change the world, actually you need to impact people. You need to change people. And okay, the EU projects have evolved very much in the demands for dissemination, for communication. But when the project ends, if you haven't reached people, there's not going to be much left, I believe. But okay, so you have to emphasize leadership, learning, organizational culture. How do these human factors come together? How can you use them?
I think it's a bit like when you go into an organization and you think, how am I going to change this organization? And you don't necessarily start from the top. You quite often go in, as I do, and I start at the bottom. when I'm looking at change. So if you talk to people at the bottom, they'll tell you what needs to change. The leader won't necessarily know what needs to change. So I think there's something in that sort of model that we could look at as being embedded into the outcomes. So what necessarily are the outcomes in plain words, but what impact have they had? Mm-hmm. And I know in the Erasmus program, for instance, they talk about state what is the added value to Europe. And we put some grand words in there and we say what we think might be the added value to Europe. But does it go any further than that? And I think, again, that's something that Europe has to start asking us those questions. When we submit an application, it has to say in the evaluation, so what is the change that you are bringing? How are you going to change the beneficiaries' prospects of work? And what are you going to do as a result? And I think, again, I think, and perhaps I've been guilty of this as many as ever, I flipped around from one project to another. So anything that sort of inspires me, I will join that project. Yeah. So if it's something to do with, say, tourism, yeah, I want to know about tourism. I want to change some things about tourism. That was a good project, and we got in touch with the airlines, so we managed to change some things there. So that was good. And then I flop into something else, like, so how do disabled people's travel? And straight away, there are more things to think about there, because disabled people have even more difficulties than ordinary people. So that was another 3 years that I spent looking at disabilities in tourism. And then somebody comes along and says, it's a lovely project to capture heritage. And I think, oh, yes, I like capturing heritage. I'll join that project. so there is no continuity, even in me. I'm tending to go with what I feel passionate about, but that's not necessarily the order in which the change needs to happen. Does that make sense?
If you're following your passions, that should result in positive outcomes. And coming back to what you said before, I believe that projects should start thinking about legacy from the beginning. Your idea is to put that into an evaluation process, starting from the beginning. Well, how would that work?
I think the evaluation has to be written in from day one, when you start to write the bid. And you have to say at each stage, not necessarily that you will evaluate after 12 months and then you will evaluate at 2 years when you apply for the final funding. It's got to be more upfront than that, and you start evaluating at day one. So every action that you develop, you look back straight away and say, well, what we've learned from doing that. Don't wait till the end of the 2 years and then think about, oh, I suppose we better do a bit of evaluation because Europe will want us to do a bit of evaluation. And I've done that myself. I've sat down and written evaluation and looked back over the 2 years and thought, where have we come? Mm-hmm. So yes, we don't think about evaluation till the end. And then we try and evaluate what we've done for the whole 2 years. Whereas we need to be looking at evaluation from day one and writing, what will that be? What tools will we use to evaluate? We will keep a diary. I mean, that's one thing I say to students when I'm doing job shadowing or such with them. I say, keep a diary. How do you know what you've learnt from me if you haven't got it written down? So that's one way. And with AI, it could be even easier to evaluate from the beginning than it is to try and evaluate at the end. I think it would be quite interesting to go and ask ChatGPT, please write me the evaluation of this 2-year project. and it probably hasn't been involved for the 2 years. So
Yeah,
it's going to
if
be
you
making it
use
up as
it,
it goes along.
if you use it to keep a diary, then it will have a lot of information to do that evaluation. Yeah, I see your point. Okay,
Yes.
let me change subject slightly. My question is this. Very often cross-border partnerships are presented as the major strengths of European projects. In your opinion, are they really that sustainable? Are they really that strong, or are they a weak point of these
You've
projects?
asked the wrong person here. I'm passionate about collaborative ventures. I've still got in my contacts, I have still got partners that I worked with 20 years ago. I have got a lovely man, for instance, in Estonia, that I only met on a 5 day. I think it was a European look at countries sort of project where there were a lot of countries there, and we just hit it off right from day one. And I think he's a lovely man, and he's done an awful lot of work. And I've never actually done a project with him, but wherever I go, I talk to people about him and I say, you must do some work with Preet, because he's got this wonderful place in Estonia where it's all natural spring water, and he's teaching young people about climate, and they actually go there. He has something like 20,000 young people a year that go to his water springs farm, and I bet I've sent quite a few thousand there as well. But I've never been myself. So
Mhm.
I think collaboration. Oh, I love it. I've got so many lovely people that I've met over the last years. And even now they'll come to me and say, I'm writing a bid. What do you think of it? Can you critique it for me? And I'll do that quite happily, because I know the kind of person they are. I've met some bad ones, though. I must admit, I have met some bad ones, really bad ones. And I thought, oh, I can't wait till this project finishes. It's like pushing a rock up the hill. They don't really want to change, and you're trying to get them to understand. And then usually it's about a fortnight before they're going to start writing the final report that suddenly they say, what do we put in the final report? And I'm afraid I'm a bit naughty then. I say, I don't know. Don't you know? So no, I'm not quite that bad. But yes, I do. I hope they learn that lesson so that when they go on to the next project, they realise that they could have done things differently.
I gotta say, I'm in the same club. Some of my best friends are people I met in this EU project. Okay,
Mm.
as you mentioned, you said before you worked around the inclusion and accessibility. My question is, don't we treat these issues as, let's say, an add-on to projects? They're not usually baked into the essence of the project, or are they? Or do you see any evolution there?
Um, yeah, I think we've got to a stage now that we don't do them. We don't so much do them as standalone projects. We take it for granted that inclusion is there because it should be. I mean, I've had some experiences because I now have I can't get about. I have mobility issues, and I have been seen on the streets of where Budapest, um, and everybody's staring at me. And in the end, I said to the host, "Why is everybody staring at me? Do they like my scooter, or what is it?" She said, "No, they just don't see disabled people." And I said, "Why not?" Just because they don't come out. I said, they don't come out. She said, no. She said, they have no means of coming out. They don't have access to a scooter like you do. That quite shocked me, because I thought we were in a world where, we have got those kind of aids. So so yeah, I think even if we only change a little bit, we perhaps can't change the world, and until the present generation of people have gone who don't practice accessibility and dealing with women, if you like. I've met a few of them as well. That quite honestly, it's their attitude almost is, you know, you're a little woman, sit down and or go away. You know, they're stuck in that, perhaps the 1950s. So until that's changed, and we start to look on those kind of issues as being normal, and they're automatically included. There's a lovely lady also I know from a disability project, and I'm so pleased to see she's now the European ambassador for disabilities. And when I met her, she was just the partner that we dealt with. But she's severely disabled. But to think that she's got to traveling to Brussels 3 times a week for what she does, I think that's amazing. It's you know, and you do see examples like that, and you I think maybe coming on to another thing that we perhaps could talk about, and that is how we record these things. I mean, I'm starting to think now that I should have put a lot of this in writing long ago. I should have recorded all these wonderful things. And thinking about my legacy. What is my legacy? Why have I done it for the last how many years? And what's the value of it?
Well, we can start today.
It's
We can
time,
start
isn't
writing.
it? It's time, and I'm afraid to say I have done in the last 18 months. I have addressed legacy a lot more, and I've had some training that I had to pay quite heavily for, looking at how I value myself. That was one I did with one good lady. It was very, very interesting. How do I value my worth in my legacy? And say 2 or 3, including the lady who's introduced me to you and Lorenzo. You know, looking at legacy with them. So I think again, it's a passion of mine. What have I done all this for, and what value is it to somebody else?
Sure. Okay, let me change subject again and put you this very direct, very practical question. Imagine you are building a partnership to submit a bid, to submit a proposal to some EU call. How do you build the consortium? What do you look for in partners? Technical expertise, eligibility for sure, but what else? Or is it just technical
No,
expertise?
I think I look at their organisation and their achievements. I think it's a bit like when I'm buying a piece of equipment for my husband. I look at the reviews, you know, to see how many other people have bought it and were they satisfied. I am naughty, aren't I? Yes. What have they achieved? And also, another bit of a passion of mine is that I would love to be able to help more not-for-profits get into writing bids, because they haven't got the expertise. So where do they get that expertise to be able to put in a good bid? And then have they got the expertise to manage it? And most of the time they haven't, because they come to charities and not-for-profits for other great reasons. They don't come as a project manager or a financial director. So quite often they'll say to me, well, could you project manage it for us? Yes, I have looked at that. I have worked with not-for-profits that wanted to get into bid writing, and particularly Erasmus is really good for encouraging youth groups that we've never put in for any kind of funding before. So yeah, I think there's a lot more we could do to encourage those type of organisations, not discourage them from the word go.
Let's translate that into practical advice for project coordinators that are building some bid. How should they design their proposals? What is your list of advice for anyone like this?
My golden rule is I start off with a mind map. And I literally dump all the nice things that Europe wants to achieve and the nice things that I want to achieve by doing the project. And then I start to expand. And sometimes I have to cut off a branch because this time it's too heavy and it's it's messing all the other branches up. So that's how I start off with my tree. I just have these branches, and then I look around for, so who's going to fill those partnerships. I go sometimes to people that I've partnered with before. I will go perhaps to Turkey, nice man I've done a lot of projects with there, and say, do you know anybody in north, south, east, west of Europe, of the Europe map, so to speak, which is supposed to guide us, isn't it? I've just taken on a lovely group in Dublin, and Ireland I love, so but I've never done a project with Ireland, so yes, that's going to be new. And I look to see, have they got the makeup? Have they got the skills? You know, where you put in the partner form, on the application form, it says partner declaration. What is the skills and attributes of the partner? Well, I ask them to do one of those for me, and then I look to see, have they actually got the skills or the attributes? Do they even mention them? Have they actually connected the skills and attributes with what the project actually requires? So that gives me a fair indication of whether I've got a good partner or not. Sometimes I look and I see they maybe haven't got the skills and the attributes, so I've got to find a way of infilling them. So where can I get those skills and attributes from somebody else that can do that bit of that project for them? So yeah, it's a bit I like to think it's like looking for synergy, looking for something that fits what you want to input into the project.
Well, I don't want to abuse your time, but I can't finish the interview without asking you about the future. How optimistic are you about the future now that I see that the UK is joining some EU research programs? And what are your thoughts about that?
Only for 1 year, though. The government is going to evaluate.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We've gone a full circle here, haven't we? Yeah, we're going to. The UK government is going to give us access for a year. Then they will evaluate, and then they will see whether we can participate to 2027. I'm already having people saying, how soon can we put a bid in? Can we put a bid in now? And I say, well, look, you know, it's going to take you a long time to define what your bid actually is. So I suggest you wait for the administrative guidance that comes out in late October sometime, and then start to define your project then, and look about for partners, that kind of thing. So but they need a lot of hand holding up till then, and they haven't always got the wherewithal to pay me the time to do it. So I'm afraid a lot of that kind of work is what I do as a freebie, you know, just to help people get on the road. Once they're on the road to somewhere, they know where they're going. But yes, yes, UK government, would you believe I have spent the last 10 years as one of the prime movers to get us back into Europe? I have made a nuisance of myself at Downing Street, and I have met 3 prime ministers in 10 years. So, so, so they know my name, and when I get to number 10, they go, "Oh no, not her again." She's come here banging on about Europe. So yes, I have made a nuisance of myself. It's all over my social media. What I think about the UK government, what they need to do, and even my local new MP hasn't been there very long, but he knows me. When I send him an email, I get a personal response. I'm quite impressed, actually.
That's impressive.
Yes. I don't usually get, your MP's based at the House of Commons, write to him there. No, I get a personal reply from him. So there we are. Sorry, what else? What else about the question?
Do you think that will bring some new era of cooperation? Do you think that will be positive? My question was about your idea of the future.
Yeah,
How do you see it?
I was a bit concerned that they hadn't got around to appointing a national agency, but they have done that now, and they have appointed the British Council, which was running part of the Erasmus programme before. They haven't gone for the national agency that we had before, which was a private group, and they were very good. I had such a good relationship with them. They were always picking up the phone and, what do you think about this? And can you come to this training? Or can you do this? Or can you do that? So I had a good relationship with them, and I've got it in my notes to try and develop the same kind of relationship with the new people. But they are a government agency. The British Council is government, really. So it's not like dealing with a private enterprise. It's going to have to be different. So yeah, I'm hopeful. I think I think the feedback I get from the other 27 countries is they want us back, and I think that is what makes the difference. The fact that that's what they keep saying, and that's what they have said for 10 years. We want you back. We value you as a partner. Please, can you find some way to collaborate with us? So yeah, they like us, and that's nice. Even the French, they like us as well. You'll have to delete that bit.
Even the French, okay.
Oh dear. You'll have to edit all of this.
I'm sure there will be plenty of French organizations trying to develop cooperation with you after this.
Well, they do a project with a French partner, and that was Calais. We did cooking at sea. Using produce from the sea, and I sat down to a plate of seaweed. It was beautiful, cooked by a top-rate chef, but it was beautiful seaweed, I must say. They didn't tell me till I'd eaten it, obviously. We do have some fun. That's the thing also, European projects, we have fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not all work. It's fun.
Okay, so can we put your contacts in the notes of the podcast so that people can find you to develop new collaborations with the UK now that you're coming back? I hope.
Yes.
I hope.
Yes, please. We're coming back. We're coming back, and we want to make a difference.
Let's change the world together. That's a good idea. Do you have any final idea you want to close with?
No, I've had fun. Thank you. I enjoyed this podcast.
Thank you for your time.
It's a pleasure.
See you soon in some EU project.
Come back and talk to me when we're back in Europe. How about that?
Okay, we'll do that. I hope so.
Okay, bless you. Thanks for the offer. Take care. Bye.
Welcome back. Let me leave you with one strategic lesson from Christine Lester's interview. Legacy is not something you add at the end of a project. It has to be designed from the beginning. That may sound obvious, but it's easier said than done. In practice, many EU-funded projects still treat legacy as a final communication task, a website, a final report, a toolkit, a dissemination event. Christine's point is stronger than that. If the right people do not know the project exists, if beneficiaries do not absorb the results, if institutions cannot reuse the learning, well, then the project may have delivered everything and still leave almost no trace. So for coordinators, this changes the way we should write the proposal. We cannot treat evaluation, dissemination, and impact as separate boxes to put a tick. They need to work together from day one. Evaluation, this is one of Christine's main ideas. Evaluation shows what changed. Dissemination gets the right people to see it. And impact explains why it matters. So legacy makes sure the work does not disappear. And that is the strategic lesson I take from this conversation. A strong EU-funded project is not only designed to be approved, and that is required, of course. It is designed to be remembered, reused, scaled. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this episode. You'll find Christine Lester's contacts in the episode notes, together with the links to all the tools and resources mentioned in the episode. If this conversation helped you think differently about EU-funded projects, please like, subscribe, stack, share everything you can do with this episode. That every single one of those will help the episode and this podcast become known to more people. So share it with someone building a consortium, writing a proposal, or trying to make funded work matter beyond the reporting deadline. And if you are working on EU project and want to share your story on InnovEU, just send me a DM on LinkedIn, because Europe's transitions are already shaping our future, and your project might be part of the story. See you next week.